What's going on, you guys? Jay here and welcome back to the channel. So don't forget to smash the like button, drop a comment, subscribe if you haven't already, and hit the notifications bell to stay informed. We've got some more exciting developments to dive into. Another USTC repeg effort is underway, but this time there's an interesting twist because there are now two major repeg initiatives on the horizon. Could they clash, or could they band together to bring the best to the LUNC community? Let's break it down. I just want to take a quick second to thank Margex again for sponsoring the channel this month. As a trader, I know how important privacy is, which is why I chose to work with Margex to begin with. I don't have to worry about sharing my personal information, there's no KYC required, and the platform offers up to 100x leverage, all while knowing my identity has never been revealed. The interface is incredibly user-friendly, and it's making it easier for me to navigate and execute my trades. So if you're looking for a reliable, private and efficient trading experience, Margex is definitely the way to go. I'll leave links to sign up in the description below. Grab yourself a bonus now and let's get back to the video. With two repeg proposals being pushed forward, we face a rather critical moment. Both initiatives are ambitious and both could potentially lead USTC back to that glorious $1 peg. But the question really is, can the LUNC community afford to follow both, or will these teams need to set aside their egos and collaborate for the good of the ecosystem? The truth is, the LUNC community cannot afford infighting or delays. We are in the midst of a crucial time, with the halving cycle creating an opportunity that simply won't last forever. While two teams may have differing views on how to achieve the repeg, the real danger really lies in the bickering and indecision. We need the best plan, not a battle of egos. We simply can't follow the two conflicting paths. The entire community needs to rally around one solid plan, a plan that offers the best chances for success. Let's dive into what this new proposal brings and whether it could be the key to making USTC $1 peg a reality. This new repeg effort is coming from a group called Plastic Digits, also known as Ceramic, and they've been working on these white papers to repeg USTC to $1. He has over 3 years of successful development experience working with stablecoins, making him uniquely qualified to define and implement a USTC repeg. So that is definitely a bold statement. And when you flick over to the GitHub that is mentioned here, you can see a rather good history. But nonetheless, I always judge everything on how you would judge a cake. It might look good when you put it into the oven. That doesn't mean it's going to look great when it comes out at the end. And this is such an important factor with any development team. We've seen so many good development teams start good and then end up as a very poor development team that has become a hindrance to the blockchain. This new USTC repeg plan is well thought out with a clear timeline and detailed white papers in the works. The roadmap actually includes two white papers, one focusing on the theory and the other on the implementation. These are going to be ready for community review, as they're stating, after the final TFL burn on October 31st. In about 7 weeks from now, the governance proposal for the repeg will be up for voting and the implementation is supposedly slated to follow soon after. So what exactly does this repeg plan involve? We need to break this down into two key components so you can better understand: the USTC repeg and then the collateralization of the market module. The first part of this plan actually involves creating a new token called USTY. All existing USTC will be automatically converted into USTCY at a 1-to-1 ratio. Well, USTCY will actually be stakeable, allowing holders to earn up to 30% of the USTC minted by non-market makers across the protocol. Now, if that all sounds familiar, that's because we've seen a similar structure before with protocols like Anchor and Mira. Both of these projects had staking and high yield mechanisms that promised significant returns. Unfortunately, they were part of what led to the collapse: Anchor's unsustainable yields and Mira's synthetic assets. They both created an illusion of stability, but in reality, they were both too fragile to actually withstand the market pressures. But something I want to point out, the key difference here is that this new USTY proposal is designed with lessons learned from those failures. The collateralization mechanism and governance controls aim to avoid the pitfalls that brought down Anchor and mirror. Instead of relying on high yields with no backing, this plan actually emphasizes over collateralization and controlled minting, ensuring that stability is prioritized over risky gains. And do you want to know the best part from my perspective? USTY will keep the same contract address as USTC, meaning that all off-chain platforms and centralized exchanges that currently support USTC will automatically support the swap to USTY. This is going to clear up a huge amount of confusion that would probably be there in other circumstances. Okay, now let's talk about the second part of this initiative, the collateralization of that market module, or as some refer to it as the CMM. This module ensures that USTC is backed by a mixture of assets. Each asset has a specific weighting and is allowed to fluctuate within a 10% range. This means the value of USTC will be based on a diversified basket of assets. The asset selection will be governed by community proposals, ensuring we pick assets based on liquidity, price stability, and yield. Traders can also swap between the assets in the basket, creating a dynamic, secure system for managing USTC's value. I mean, this proposal gets more and more fruitful as you dive into it and begin to break it down. The USTC can be minted and burned based on the collateral that's available. We need to take this into account. It's a crucial part of keeping USTC stable. You're trying to ensure it's always fully backed. If USTC, let's say, ever becomes 85% under collateralized, minting and burning is going to be disabled until that stability is restored. And we've seen that in the evidence they've shown us with that other stable coin that's mentioned. On the flip side, right, if USTC, let's say, is 100% over collateralized, a portion of that surplus will be used to mint new tokens over a period of 5 years. This is going to benefit LUNC validators, USTC stakers, and USTY stakers. So do take that into account as well. This initiative isn't just about the tech, it's actually about the community's involvement with it. After those white papers are released and discussed, the final repeg proposal will be voted on by the community. So there's going to have to be a choice between one or the other. Like I was saying at the beginning, we simply cannot do both. This journey to repeg USTC is highly ambitious, but with a detailed roadmap and the involvement of many different developer teams like Ceramic and the other repeg effort and these other upcoming governance processes and all of the burning that's going on, the dream of a $1 USTC is very much within reach at this point from my perspective. There's a lot of great minds that are trying to get this thing together. One thing I'm not ever seeing covered is the embracement of the final judgment outright stating that USTC was in fact a security. And I don't think anyone's taking that into account with their proposals. Is there going to be some kind of court process we need to go through? Do we need to alter certain things so it doesn't fall into the category of a security ever again? One thing that is certain to me at this point, we cannot afford to wallow in the mud while two repeg teams bicker over whose plan is better. The halving cycle waits for no one. You all know that. I tell you this consistently, and neither should we. We need to put egos aside. We need to unite behind a plan that has the best chance to succeed. If that means both repeg efforts combining together to bring forth one final ultimate plan, then that's what should happen. It shouldn't fall down to the consistent bickering to come up with a resolution. Instead, this should be done in a very courteous manner that's heavily lubricated like a slick baby seal. I just don't think the community should suffer another round of two teams bickering between who's got the better plan. I think it's far more beneficial for both of those teams to work together productively and effectively to get this thing done and dusted. We're all kind of sick of hearing repeg proposal after repeg proposal, and eventually that charm's going to wear off. Eventually you will run that narrative tired and people will stop believing that this chain can ever be restored. So my final message to all of these developers that are working on USTC, although you're getting a lot of attention now, do understand that every other repeg team before you guys has ended up in complete disaster, and it has massive effects on this chain. It leads to a lot of people walking away each time, and it shaves off more and more of the user base. Let's work together. Let's get this thing done. Let's get it dusted, and let's get a repeg underway and get something in motion. I don't want everything to just stay in the discussion phase or bickering or the ins, the outs. Let's just get it done. Hashtag baby seal, hashtag USTC repeg. Let me know what you think about all of this in the comment section, you guys. And aside that, just stay safe, stay humble, stay aware, and say it with me. Are you ready? Deep breath. Choo!